Luann, get out of my head. Jeff Stone here with day 15 of the year 2016 at magicreviewed.com. We're looking at Luca Volp's In My Mind. Ooh, very, very scary, okay? Very, very scary, okay? This is romantic, okay? Shh. It could be full of chocolate, okay? If anybody knows those references, please make sure you post it in the comments. I know one of my viewers will know because his screen name tells me he's a fan. So he'll know. He'll know who that was. Anyway, before we get into the review, I just have to say that I feel free. I have been freed from the demons that are known as studio lighting. That's right. From the moment I said up yours lighting the other day, I have been freed. I no longer feel the burden of caring about lighting. And so I don't care. I'll wear a black shirt. I have more black shirts than any other shirt I own. So I will wear black, and I don't care if you see stuff. I'm free. And this is the last time I'll ever talk about it. So, the end. Freedom from the lights. So Luca Volp, $25, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effects. I thought there were 7. 6 effects. Let's talk about the effects real quick. First of all, the presentations that he does, like when you see him perform on the DVD, he's not the most entertaining guy to watch, but these effects and methods are very clever. So if you buy this DVD, and I'm going to recommend that you do if you're into this kind of magic, if you buy the DVD, suffer through the presentations. Sorry to say it that way, but because it's worth it. So, first one, White Memory. Basically, the effect is this: a free selection, truly free selection. They put the card back in the deck. It's cut, and then you are going to read their mind, and so you look through the cards. And you're like, I get a sense that it's this one. You put one card aside. There's no deck switches, no funny moves here. So one card's placed aside. You then, continue to make sure you've read their mind correctly, and you're like, yes, you're thinking of. And now I don't have a deck. Here we go. You are now thinking of the 3 of diamonds. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. And you're only showing the back to them. And he plays it back on the table. You hand them the deck right there. Again, no funny switches or anything like that. And they can, you have them deal through the cards. You deal a couple on the table to kind of show them what you mean. But deal through and look to see if the 3 of diamonds is anywhere in the deck. And it's not. It's nowhere to be found. So clearly this card that's face down on the table must be your card. Now I want you to imagine your card fading away, vanishing, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn over that card on the table and it's now blank. That's White Memory. Lucky Envelopes is a bank night effect, if you're familiar with that, where you have a handful of envelopes. You bring people up on stage to pick which envelope they're going to get. And then, of course, they always end up the loser. The 5 envelopes that had blank paper in is what they get. And the one that had the money in it is what you get. And this one's no different as far as the audience is still the loser. But it's only 2 envelopes. And you do predict, you have inside of the envelope predicts saying, Dear Bob, you will pick this envelope or whatever. There's some dual reality going on a little bit about that prediction as far as it saying Dear Bob. But it's close enough. Anyway, but it does predict that they will pick that envelope. But they still end up the loser. They don't get the money. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Double coincidence is this effect. Now, so this DVD and generally really inspired me to create some ideas. Inspired me to come up with some handling and some ideas for my own repertoire. This one in particular, this is the effect. I want you to listen to how clean this is. All right. 2 decks of cards. You give one to Bob and one to Joe, and then you have them take the decks under the table, mix them up under the table. They're not looking. They take one card and they reverse it, and they put it in the middle of the deck, and then they continue mixing the cards. They bring the decks out, place them on the table, and then with no funny moves at all, you spread them, and there's only one card reversed, and there's no like rough and smooth or any of that stuff going on. The cards are spread. There's only one card where you could see the back, and the cards match. So Bob chose the 9 of diamonds, and so did Joe, or whatever. So the method is very clever. It will require you to buy a couple things that you may not have on hand. But other than that, I mean, and that those couple things are readily available at Magic dealers, and they're about $7 a piece, and you'll need 2 of them. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, that inspired an idea for me for something I want to work on. So then the 2 drawings, the method for this also inspired a trick for me. That's the next trick. That inspired an idea for me. So in the 2 drawings is this: you have a handful of business cards that all have a picture or a drawing or something on them. And the spectator takes a small stack of the cards and then gives the rest to the other spectator. They count how many cards they have. That's their secret number. So maybe this guy had 5 and this guy had 6, so therefore it's a total of 11 cards. Put the cards back together and you go through them one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they're supposed to remember the card on their spot. So you do that to this guy, then you do that to this guy. In the end, the pictures they both were thinking of matched. That method's very clever, and it's a concept that I wasn't familiar with, that I have an idea I want to apply it to. Then Just One Chance is an open prediction effect, which is pretty clean. There's no billet switching. You really do place the prediction out in front ahead of time. They deal down the cards, and they can stop really anytime they want. The deck is completely ungimmicked. It could be a borrowed deck, and they stop anywhere they want. And then the card they stop at is, you open the prediction and show that it matches what you said. You can use this method for any card and any number if you're into that. I'm not. But if you are, you can. And you can also use this method for just as a force. So the last one is called the Key of Fate, and darn him, he used a method that I created years ago that I've not shared with anybody. He didn't rip me off. He just independently created it as well. But it's a method that I've always known would be a really good method for a key test. And I was someday going to publish it or whatever, but I never have. I had this idea about 15 years ago. And so he beat me. That's the second time, by the way, that I'm pretty sure it was Luca Volpe last time, where he had the a card and balloon idea that he also published a video about. I'm pretty sure it was Luca Volpe, man. That's weird. I never realized that till right now. But that's 2 effects that I've had the exact same idea, basically, and then he ended up publishing them. So he's like reading my journals or something, man. I don't know. Anyway, no, I'm kidding, of course. He's not stealing from me. He's just independently exactly as clever as I am, whatever that is. 0 on a scale from 1 to 10, or a 10 on a scale. I don't know. But the Key of Fate it's 3 keys, 1 lock that locks a little box, and he just made one out of cardboard. And there's a prize inside. You bring 3 people up, and the envelopes go into the keys, or the keys go into the envelopes, and that's all decided by the spectator. So any 3 envelopes, and the envelopes are not marked, and they put 1 key in each envelope, and then you bring 3 guys up on stage, and you've predicted what prize they will win and who will win it, and a bunch of other things. So that's the basic idea of that, or a couple other things. There's a chair test involved in that as well. So that's the effects. Sorry, I spent almost 10 minutes on the effects here, when effects don't even affect the star rating. But I wanted you to hear the effects because the ad copy doesn't really give a lot of depth on what the effect is. So I wanted you to be aware of what kind of effects you were buying if you're interested in this. So now you know the effects. The question is, do you like those kind of effects? If you do, I'd say get this. If you don't, then move on. If you're, again, a coin manipulator or, whatever kind of act, then this may not be your thing. But if you're into this kind of mentalism stuff, then you'll love this. So the methods, all the methods are, so what do we talk about around here? Method, ad copy, integrity, and product quality, right? Methods are solid. They've stood the test of time. There's old principles mixed with new ones, mixed with little subtleties from Luca Volpe. These are really clever, really easy, very smart. Some of them use some gaffes. Some of them use gaffes or gimmicks that you already have. One of them uses one of these, but you guys can't do that. It's creepy. Anyway, the thing. You probably have one of those, right? One of them, for example, if you're going to do the key trick, you need to buy the locks, right? And you need to buy keys and stuff, so that'll cost you some money. But you know, it just depends on what effects you're going to do. You may have to buy something here and there. The one that, you know, the double coincidence with the 2 decks of cards, that's the one that's going to cost you the most. But you just literally have to buy 2 of these things, and then bam, it's done. You've got everything you need, and you don't have to even modify those 2 things that you get. So can't say much more than that without basically revealing the method. Anywho, and those 2 things, I promise you, you've probably got one or at least owned one. But if not, their magic shops have them. No problem there. So anyway, then, you know, like white memory, you're going to have a blank face card. You know, big deal. And just one chance, you just need a piece of paper to write stuff down on, and then there's a real simple little sleight of hand move that goes on for that effect. So anyway, basic sleight of hand and a gimmick here and there. If you were to buy everything that of all those 6 tricks I just named, if you were going to do all of them, it would cost you like $30. I mean, that includes buying the lock and key. That includes buying this if you don't already have one. I mean, that includes everything. Okay, if you're not going to, you know, basically most of the money you would spend would be on the keys and the lock, or the special things for double coincidence. If you weren't going to do those 2 tricks, I mean, we're talking maybe $5 if that. Again, assuming you don't already have some of this stuff laying around. So enough of that. Methods are solid. Any skill level can do this, no problem. Ad copy integrity, totally solid. And again, there's only one thing I would mention on that, and that's they make this claim that the key trick is worth 10 times the price of the DVD. So they're saying it's worth $250. I don't know if that's true, especially considering the fact that it's a method I was considering marketing myself, and there's no way I would have charged $250 for that, guys. So now, if it included, you know, the keys and the locks and the box and the, you know, all the stuff, and then maybe we're talking getting up in a higher price range. But that aside, it's a minor little nitpick. The last thing is product quality, and this is not horrible. There are a few hits. I mentioned the lighting, or I mentioned the production, the performances. That's the word I'm looking for. The performances. Am I rushing again? Because it seems like whenever I have movie night with my son, I rush. Tonight we're watching Matrix 3, the final, and he's never seen it before. We're still debating if we're going to watch a second one again, because my word, that scene with the architect. What? Anyway, so I'll slow down a little bit. Product quality. The presentations are a little hard to watch. Because again, you know, he's a little bit of a, what I call a put and taker. You know, come here and stand over here and put this here and take this, and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then we'll do this, and then I'm going to do that, and that's his whole presentation. There's really not much more to it. Again, that doesn't affect the star rating, but it is a little frustrating to watch. That aside, the lighting's a little off, and the camera distance is not the greatest for the performances in the cases where he's performing like in a parlor setting. There's a couple performance segments where they're done close up, and it's better there. But during the explanation, you see everything. You see everything you need to know. It's very clear, and the camera work is excellent. It's very close up and very focused when it needs to be, so it's great. Finally, there's a bonus effect that comes with it, where it's if you're going to do that, you will have to buy a Peak wallet, so that'd be another expense. But it wasn't one that's that I was talking about a minute ago with all the expenses. So you'd have to buy a Peak wallet, but it's a really clever psychometry routine, and he goes into a little bit of depth, and it uses there's a PDF that comes with the DVD. There's 2 PDFs. The first PDF is the symbols for that drawing trick I mentioned a minute ago, where you count the cards so you can print them on the back of your business cards. The second PDF is actually a template for the front of your business card that has some stuff built into it. Some stuff for some effects with Zener cards, with a playing card, a clock, and a couple other things, and a really clever thing built into the design of the card that allows for a really clever marking system. That's all built into this template that you get on this PDF, that you can basically use it and go to whoever makes your business cards and have them make this as your business card. And so that's a nice added bonus. And he talks about doing this psychometry routine using those business cards for the psychometry routine, and then a Peak wallet. So if you have a Peak wallet, so if nothing else, the concept with the Peak wallet, it's a clever way to to end a small close-up psychometry routine, and it has a lot of presentational potential. So a lot of good stuff in that little bonus section. And he also refers you off to a couple of people. Obviously, Animan's one, if you want to learn more about psychometry. So the bonus section is good. So the teaching's good. The product quality overall is good, minus the little bit of lighting issues. So I guess everybody has lighting issues. It's not just me. Anyway, so solid product all around. Solid product. And as I said, this DVD inspired a lot of ideas for me. It may inspire nothing for you. I mean, it may not. I have no idea. That's why I can't base my review on that. I can't base my rating on that. And so my rating is based on ad copy integrity, solid. Method, solid. And product production quality, all good. 5 stars, stone status of gem. That's it, folks. So it's time to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and listen to the groovy random iTunes song of the moment, which is, oh, this is great. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be able to get much of it up. So, Sail on the Steel Breeze by Pink Floyd. But this is not Pink Floyd. This is the Vitamin Piano series. And these guys take a lot of classics. They've done, some Pink Floyd, they've done some Metallica, they've done a bunch of other guys, and they turn them into these piano pieces that are amazing. So I'll put a link to that in the description below. Tune in tomorrow, day 16 of the year 2016 at magicreview.com, where we look at Ben Harris, A Thought Well Stolen. Until then, folks. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Until then, peace out.